And the first thing I thought when I read this title was the road virus heads north.
He couldn't think of anything but the damned picture. Had it changed?
Without going into too much detail, it's a story about a guy who acquires a painting at a yard sale. And this painting was made by a tortured genius, a creative savant or something like that. But this guy went mad apparently, and he killed himself shortly after he burned all of his other works of art and creations. So this is the only one that survives him, and he claims in his suicide notes and whatnot that he couldn't stand what he was becoming and what was happening to him basically. Now, the only painting that's left, acquired by this guy, starts to change in subtle ways.
The Grand Am's taillights were a blur of red-pink watercolor paint. It was Cannell's first look at the car's back deck. Written across it in Old English letters were 3 words: the road virus.
What follows is basically a really great Stephen King psychological terror type story, right? Now, the ending in it leaves a little to be desired, right?
It wasn't the way the story was supposed to end.
The painting of horror, however, it's cheap from start to finish, and worse than made for TV. So the credits are cut with a half-naked woman pulling up her pantyhose. Dire Straits production, how clever. 1970s ass chair and shoddy lighting. This is like the smallest set ever. What did they shoot this in? A closet? Music by The Gang. The movie begins with a telephone call from her boss, I presume. At the strip club, I also presume.
I can work Wednesday. No, I can't work Thursday or Friday. Don't give me that.
Sounds familiar.
No, I don't work today.
Well, listen, I have somebody coming over.
Now, the first thing that bothers me is the camera shake. I understand this camera is mounted, it's stationary, and the director decides, hey, we're going to do a zoom in on this next shot. But let me just do an experiment here. Isn't that fucking annoying?
Bye.
Isn't that annoying? Doesn't it break the immersion of the video? Because it does for me.
Told you. Bye.
She hung that phone up like a 3-year-old kid.
Hi.
This is Buckaroo Bink.
Seconds later, the phone rings again for no reason other than to let us know she has a roommate.
No, she's not here. You'll have to call back later.
She just sits there brushing her hair until there's a knock at the door.
Hi. You must be Bill. I'm Tony.
So I guess Tony's a prostitute, really, and Bill's just some horny dude. I don't know.
Am I what you expected?
What a delivery. It was so lackluster.
Why don't you come in?
Like, she wasn't even interested at all. I mean, she's a hooker, so, like, I guess it's business and not pleasure, so why would you be interested? But still. And she just put those on, like, a minute ago, and now she's taking them off. What the hell was the point? Okay, wow. Let's be clear here. I did not cut that to be funny. This fucking movie, it literally just cut to that on its own free will.
Shit. Always when I'm in the shower.
She gets interrupted while in the shower by a knock at the door, I guess. I didn't hear anything, honestly, but whatever knock there was probably long since lost in the cracks and pops of this ancient-ass VHS that it was ripped from to begin with. Apparently her roommate has ordered something, so Tony sits at the side and resumes doing woman stuff. Or doing horse stuff, I guess. I don't know. For some dumbass reason, we get these 2 shots that focus on the hairbrush as if it has some unknown importance. She picks it up like it's a murder weapon. And then she brushes her hair with it. I don't know what I expected her to do. But why was it so important that it needed that kind of editing? There's some more PG undressing shots, and then what the hell, again with these weird-ass dance scenes out of nowhere? Again, I didn't edit this to be funny. It really just cuts to that. Look at how this scene starts. She's just standing there, and you can tell the director was like, okay, action. Should have clipped a few frames off of that. Some more fetish shots. Terrible fetish shots. I mean, the fetish isn't terrible, just the shots of the fetish, in this movie particularly, are terrible. Dude titled himself as a director for this. What exactly needed directing in this? Was it even edited? I suppose if you were a leg and pantyhose guy in the 90s, this would have been your cup of tea, though, so it's got that going for it. And I gotta say, most of the movie doesn't have any annoying dialogue, no useless cuts. I mean, damn. You know, as lame and as uninteresting as this thing is, it actually has less things in it that I normally complain about than most movies. The shots do go on too long though. There aren't enough camera angles, and when there are extra camera angles, they're just of odd subject matters. Literally, the entire middle of the movie is no dialogue, just Tina putting on her clothes. Slow as balls, instead of taking them off. And suddenly we're dancing again. Wait, I wonder if this is her friend or something. I mean, I don't want to overthink this movie or anything. You know, if it is her friend, that's the friend who ordered the package, right? Who cares? What do you think was going through that dude's mind when they were filming this?
What the hell is this? What did she order?
Was any of that dialogue necessary? It was nothing more than a rephrasing of the last thing she said the last time she talked. So her roommate arrives home and...
This asshole came into work today, whipped out his dick, and started pissing on the stage.
Whoa, okay, was any of that dialogue necessary? Look, not many people can pull off the Kevin Smith type dialogue, so don't even try, movie.
This box came in today. You really have to stop ordering all this junk. This apartment is only so big.
I didn't order anything.
Why do I
Are you
keep
sure it's
calling
for
this a
me?
movie? They finally open the package, which contains a painting.
What is this? That is so cool.
What the hell is that?
Let's hang it over there.
Like this picture here anyway.
That was the most clever shot of the movie, and it wasn't even that clever. I just wasn't expecting him to bring that kind of, talent.
Do you want it vertical or do you want it this way?
And I love that she had it turned the wrong way when she said vertical, and then this way.
Maybe a little this way.
I'm sorry, which way?
This way.
Come again.
This way.
There seems to be a communication error here.
Maybe a little this way.
You're just flapping your goddamn hands. So realizing she's wasted the whole day getting dressed and undressed,
I'll be
Tony
home in a
leaves
few
before
hours.
she's late for
See you
work.
later.
Good God. What do you want me to say about this? Ignoring the obviously bad dancing, what drives me the most insane is how they left in the natural sound of the room. The sound of her feet shuffling and the camera clicks and pops and all that shit is so distracting. If any scene could have benefited from simply replacing the entire audio track with a song, it would be this one, and it still wouldn't be that good. Back at the apartment, Christine, who's just been sitting on the couch, becomes intrigued by the painting for no reason at all. Oh my fucking god, what in the hell is that? What the fuck is that? It looks like Freddy Krueger's dick.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Freddy's dick slowly strangles and sucks Christine into the painting, and I don't know if it's more realistic that she's not screaming since her air supply is cut off, or if it's awful that she's not making a bigger scene of it, honestly. A scream, a burp, and we cut to Tina dancing with an umbrella. Did she just stick the umbrella up her ass? What happened? I don't know. It just fucking ends? That's it? That's the ending?
Am I what you expected?
And this is why I mentioned the Stephen King story in the beginning. For what I thought that story lacked in its ending, this just lacked all over. It wasn't good boner material, it wasn't good cinematography, it wasn't good acting, it wasn't good anything. It just wasn't good. It wasn't even worth making this damn review about.